This is the end of the season press conference. I appreciate everyone for being here and covering us throughout the season. It's definitely been great to see you guys' faces throughout the season, covering us. It means a lot to get everything that we can, far as from the season, out to the public. People that didn't attend the game understand, to get the highlights and everything you guys do. So I want to thank you guys for that. Just going into the season, we had a goal coming into the season to go to the NCAA tournament. You know, obviously we fell a couple minutes short of that, but being proud of the guys, no understatement. Extremely proud of our guys. I thought we answered the bell all season, going 0-13 in that brutal non-conference schedule, all on the road, going into conference play starting January 4th, winning 16 out of 20 games, heading into that championship game. So I want to give my team and my coaching staff some praise and a lot of credit for making sure we stay mentally and physically and emotionally stable to be able to get through conference play, finish second in the league, and obviously finish second in the tournament. Weren't our goal, but at the same time, we did not finish third or below. So from a season standpoint, we're satisfied. We're grateful for our fans, but at the end of the day, the job is still unfinished.
Two-part question. Did you go back and actually watch the game, the film of it, or did you just kind of walk away from it?
Well, that'll be a game that I probably would never watch. That won't hurt, you know. So that would be a game, to answer that first question. No, I haven't watched the game. Would never watch it. I have too many visuals. That's enough. That was a tough game. But I think that game alone will fuel me for next season. Still a young coach, going into my 6th year as a head coach in Division I. Getting better and better every single year. I've tasted it. I've tasted a championship game. I've tasted getting close to winning a regular season championship. So I still have a lot of motivation and a lot of goals that I've set for myself individually that we can get collectively. I still have to reach that goal.
The second part is there anything that you, with those visuals you talked about, that you would go back and change? Because there were some, it seemed like guys were a little bit tired.
For sure.
Was that anything? I mean, I understand you're playing a lot of games in a lot of days.
For sure. Well, we knew that going in. Down the stretch, if you followed us down the stretch, you know, our last 6 or 7 games, I shortened my rotation. It was a 7-man rotation. And that's what we rolled with. And going into the championship game, I had a decision to make. Do I go with some other guys or go with the guys that I've been going with? And that's a decision you have to make with a coach, and I'll stand by that decision. Obviously, going into the off season and going into a new season, you know, you want to make sure you develop that bench. And just, you know, for whatever reason, as a coach, just didn't trust them enough. So that's something that I have to get better at with the team going into next year, making sure that I develop 8, 9, even can go 10 at times. And I thought, you know, those are teams in a tournament setting is more beneficial.
Coach, I know, you know, this season was a group effort, but were there any players that really stuck out this season that kind of impressed you by their growth?
Well, absolutely. I mean, Romeo Manziel is one. I know I'm losing him, but man, he came to me as a strictly a post player, a 5, a center. He developed. He got tougher. In basketball terms, you know, you're going to be either labeled soft or you're going to be labeled tough. And he was on the softer side when he arrived here. And I thought in the 3 years that he's been here with me, he turned into a player. He was tough, he was physical, he expanded his game and started to shoot jumpers, putting the ball on the floor, doing a lot of different things, turned himself into a pro. You go with Jamie Mitchell and Deshaun, 2 guys that missed a year and a half of basketball and to come back and play a significant role like they had to play for us this year. I'm extremely proud of those guys, how they bounced back from injury. Big Shannon Grant, I can't say enough about him. Transferring in for his last year, just the lift that he gave us on a nightly basis, the professionalism he showed on a daily basis with coming in, being prepared for practice and getting himself ready for games, being coachable. Wish I had more years with him. I thought he was a tremendous player and a person to coach. And down the line, Kevion Hunt, I thought he had his best season to date. So going into his senior year, I'm excited about that. And then our freshmen, Dory McMillan, and then you got Tamarian Hoover, which we call Spank. I think their progression from their freshman year to sophomore year would be huge. They'll be expected to, their roles will be expanded. Dorian started almost every game, this year, so his role would be expanded from a scoring standpoint, even though we're losing some scoring, so he's going to be asked to score more. Spank is going to be asked to play more. And I'm excited about our freshmen that's coming in. My son is one. Kedrick is another that's from Boonville. And also we got a kid coming in from Louisiana. All three of those guys played in the state championship game. Two of those guys won state championship. So we bring in guys with winning in their background. And that's what we're trying to create, guys that understand what winning takes, understand what sacrifice takes. But we're progressing in the right direction, which I'm excited about. I would urge and I would beg that our fans continue to support us. Next year, new team, some familiar faces, but the same goal.
Coach, I can remember this time last year when you got to the semifinals of the tournament. And injuries were kind of a thing in terms of health last year, and to think that you get to the SWAC championship game, and then you have a Jamie Mitchell who goes out. Does it make you wonder, we were just that close? Obviously maybe an injury there changes things.
Well, obviously, yes. Obviously injuries change that game. And it happened to be the championship game. But at the end of the day, we have a fresh start now. We have areas where we want to continue to get better. Our nutrition is one. Our strength and conditioning is another. Just continue to grow in those areas and making sure when those guys step on the floor, physically and mentally, they're in the best space to get through a grueling season and not having those knacks where they put them out. But injuries is part of the game. It happens with the best of them that have all the resources. So that's not an excuse. It just happens. And you just got to have guys ready to step up and play when those guys go down.
What impresses you the most about Dorian McMillan coming back for another season?
Well, for one, coming back for another season. I think that impresses me in this modern day when you have a good year, especially as a freshman. Those guys are quick to go into the portal. But for him, I haven't had that conversation with him. I don't expect to have that conversation with him. That'll be a surprise to me. But at the end of the day, I would love to coach him another year and see where it goes after that. He has a lot of potential to play anywhere in the country. And I would like to be a coach that develop him, and if or when he leaves and goes wherever he wants to go, he'll be ready to go.
Coach, you mentioned improving your bench a little bit during this offseason. Is there any other areas you really want to specify?
Oh, I mean, not nothing specifically. Just getting better overall as a coach, as a young coach. I have mentors out there that I talk to and I watch. I spend time with them in the off season. So I try to bring something different to the table than I've done the previous year to make me better. Having a fresh start and losing my two dominant bigs that I had, now I have a fresh start to play the way that I really want to play. I want to play a lot faster. I want to play a lot smaller. Kind of welcoming my team and my staff to kind of modern day basketball. We've been playing kind of old school basketball the last few years here with two big players and 3 guards or whatever the case may be. Now we want to be a little bit more faster and quicker, but we have 4 wings, 2 guards, 2 wings, and 1 big. So, we got to get to work on that, putting a roster together that benefits how we want to play next year, and it's going to be a total different style. But we want to continue to be dominant in areas where we've been dominant. This year, even though we didn't run or get a lot of fast break points, we still led the league in scoring. You know, we still doing those. We still led the league in field goal percentage. We still led the league in assist to turnover ratio, second in assists. So we're still doing some things offensively. We want to get better defensively, obviously, but I think our pace is one major thing that I want to get better at. Our pace of play.
Sorry. After the game, it seemed like you didn't have any players at the press conference. Were they just dejected after the game?
Absolutely. We all were. We all were. I mean, that was a tough game to lose. We had a lot of confidence going in that game. You know, we did not expect to lose that game. We expected that game to be tough, but losing, it wasn't one. You know, a lot of times you go into a championship game knowing that you may be the lesser team or knowing it may be a tough haul to win that game. We came in that game with a lot of confidence, and when you lose a game, when you have a lot of confidence going in, you're going to be crushed. And we was crushed because two teams do not go to the tournament in our league. Two teams do not get any award, you know, and it's almost you have to win that game to get your reward. And being, you know, 1 to 2 minutes away from, you know, that feat, that's devastating.
Would you like to see a change in college basketball with leagues that tend to be one-bid leagues, that it's a combination of the tournament and the regular season? Because you could make the case you're the 2-2 in the postseason and the regular season may have gotten you guys in, but a team that is the 6th seed wins the whole thing and they go to the tournament. A lot of conferences have been bringing that up, that maybe that's something that the SWAC may need.
Well, yeah, but at the same time, I mean, you know, West Virginia at home too, you know, and I thought they had a pretty good year too, and they're not in the tournament. So I think that can go. I mean, you can have a lot of different scenarios and what could happen, or per se. But whatever it is, I would like, you know, for us to be in a position where we could get that at-large bid. I don't think we're in a position as a conference to do that, meaning the things that we have to do, especially non-conference, to prepare ourselves for conference, and that hurts us. You know, just from an automatic bid standpoint, just from a Ken Palm and all the metrics you use, just to where you rank from a Division I standpoint. So those are above my pay grade, per se. I haven't dove into that enough to give you a good answer, per se. But I would love it to happen because I would benefit from it. I know in the past, if you won the league and didn't win your tournament, you automatically NIT, that's gone. So that took something away from, especially a one-bid league like us. But it's tough, you know, it makes it tough because you have to put everything into the tournament, and the tournament is important. So I would like it to be a change because I'm here, but if I was in the SEC, I wouldn't want it to change, you know, because now, you know, 14 teams don't get in. So I don't know. I think it depends on who you are, where you're at, what's your take, and how you feel about it.
Coach, the season didn't end the way you guys wanted to. Were there still some positives that you could?
There was a lot of positives. The only thing that was negative was the championship game. You know, during the season, you know, we lost to Florida A&M twice. That's one area where we felt like we could have got at least one of those games back, if not both, because we didn't feel like they was good enough to beat us, and they beat us twice. And if you look at that, Southern lost 3 games, we lost 4. And those are 2 games that bit us in the butt. So that's one negative you look at, and obviously the championship game is 2. But outside of that, I mean, we took care of business. Like I said, when conference play started, you know, we won 16 out of 20 heading into that championship game, and then going into the championship game, I want to say we was at 7 in a row, and you know, 10 or 11 out of our last 12 going into that game. So, I mean, we was rolling. You know, we won games handily. We won games, you know, not playing well, just sticking together. We stayed together as a team. We was one. I mean, everything was a positive, you know, and I think that's why we were so devastated in that championship game, because everything was going so good. Everybody bought into their roles. Even though the rotation was really short, we had guys that weren't playing that was bought in, that had great energy. So, I mean, I'm extremely proud of these guys. These guys sitting upstairs right now waiting on me to get done so I can meet with them. And I'm going to echo the same thing, how proud I am of them this season. They have no reason to hold their head. They should hold their head high when they walk around this campus, when they walk around the city. I feel like they made our fans proud for the most part. Obviously, we just didn't get it done in the championship game.
You talked about briefly about the incoming guys having championship experience, and obviously, like you said, you would like to win the championship game, but that experience being valuable going into next season. How do you see those two, I guess, spectrums meshing with the team?
Well, I think we got enough guys coming back. Now, obviously, I'm talking before the portal open up, but we got a good amount of guys coming back, and most of them young. So I think that hunger, being in that game, being in that environment, understanding what it's going to take to get back there, what it's going to take. They know what it feels like to go 14-4 in our league. They know what it feels like to get to the championship game. So I think that'll fuel the returning players, and most importantly, it fuels the coaching staff, knowing what we got to do to make sure we get over that hump, knowing what we got to do to make sure we don't get into a situation like we did this year when we don't have enough guys that we trust. And I'll not put that on me, because it wasn't, you know, no injuries on the bench. It was just a coach's decision. So, and that's on me to get better at next year. Just developing guys that you can trust, and get to a point where a coach can't trust or know what they're going to do on the floor. It's hard to play them. So that's an area where we'll get better at as a staff going into this year, and make sure we have enough guys that we feel comfortable with that can play.